Understanding the Dark Triad, Machiavellianism, Narcissism, and Psychopathy. Welcome, everyone. Today, we step into a world that touches all of us. Whether we notice it or not, a world of hidden intentions, subtle manipulation, and psychological patterns that shape relationships, workplaces, leadership, and even society itself. We are talking about the Dark Triad, 3 overlapping personality traits that, when understood, give us awareness, protection, and power. These traits are Machiavellianism, Narcissism, and Psychopathy. Understanding these traits doesn't make you cynical, it makes you stronger, wiser, and harder to manipulate. It allows you to see behaviors clearly, make better decisions about who to trust, and protect your energy and peace. Why the Dark Triad matters. Let's be honest, everyone encounters people with dark intentions. Some are subtle, some are bold, some are even celebrated. The problem is, most of us are never taught how to recognize them or protect ourselves. By understanding the Dark Triad, you can avoid toxic relationships, see manipulation before it happens, strengthen emotional boundaries, build confidence and mental resilience, make wiser decisions about trust and influence. This is not about fear, it's about empowerment. Knowledge allows you to rise stronger. Overview of the Dark Triad. Before diving into each personality, let's establish a clear foundation. The Dark Triad consists of 3 distinct but overlapping traits. 1. Machiavellianism, the strategist. Cold, calculating, planning several steps ahead. People with this trait manipulate through logic, subtle influence, and careful observation rather than emotion. 2. Narcissism, the ego-driven personality. They crave admiration, validation, and attention. Their power comes from emotional manipulation, often targeting empathetic people. 3. Psychopathy, emotional coldness, lack of guilt, fear, or remorse. Psychopaths can be charming, fearless, and highly strategic, not necessarily violent, but always dangerous if boundaries aren't clear. Sometimes a person exhibits only one trait, sometimes 2, sometimes all 3, and that combination can make them unpredictable and potentially dangerous. The real-world impact. The Dark Triad is not just theory. These traits appear in workplaces, friendships, romantic relationships, leadership and politics, business and online communities, even families. People with these traits often guilt-trip, charm, or subtly manipulate others, twist stories to appear innocent, cross boundaries without remorse, exploit kindness. The result? Emotional exhaustion, confusion, and loss of confidence or trust. That's why this series exists, to equip you with awareness and practical tools. How they choose targets. Here's an important point. The Dark Triad doesn't target weakness. They target strengths, empathy, kindness, loyalty, emotional openness, integrity. These traits make people easy victims because they care deeply. But understanding this allows you to flip the script, keep your heart, but add clarity, boundaries, and awareness, and suddenly you're untouchable. What to expect from this series? This series will guide you through each personality in depth. Machiavellianism, the strategist who manipulates with calculation, logic, and subtle influence. Narcissism, the emotional manipulator who thrives on admiration, control, and validation. Psychopathy, the fearless, charming, and emotionally cold personality who manipulates without guilt. By the end, you will understand the patterns of each personality, recognize manipulation before it affects you, strengthen your emotional resilience, protect your energy, your relationships, and your peace. Key principles to remember. Awareness is the beginning of freedom. Clarity is the beginning of protection. Knowledge is the beginning of power. You're not just learning psychology tonight. You're learning how to protect yourself, your energy, and your future. Take a deep breath, because we're about to begin the journey into the minds of the Dark Triad. Chapter 1. Machiavellianism, Inside the Strategist's Mind. Welcome back. Now that we understand what the Dark Triad is, we begin by examining Machiavellianism, the mindset of the strategist. If narcissists manipulate through emotion, and psychopaths manipulate through fearlessness. Machiavellians manipulate through careful strategy. They see life as a chessboard and people as pieces. Every action, every word, every interaction is part of a calculated plan. By the end of this chapter, you will know how to recognize these patterns, protect yourself, and neutralize their influence. Section 1. Who is a Machiavellian? A Machiavellian is characterized by strategic planning. They think several steps ahead, anticipating outcomes and reactions. Deliberate manipulation. Every word, gesture, or favor is calculated to influence others. Silent observation. They notice micro-expressions, tone shifts, and subtle behaviors almost instinctively. Emotional detachment. They rarely act out of passion. Calmness is a strategic tool. Instrumental charm. Warmth is often a tool to build trust and gain influence. Ends justify the means philosophy. Ethics bend if the goal is worth it. Unlike narcissists, they don't crave admiration. Unlike psychopaths, they don't need fear. They thrive on control, quietly and efficiently. Think of someone at work or in your social circle who always seems a few steps ahead, subtly steering decisions and influencing others without being noticed. That is a Machiavellian in action. Section 2. How Machiavellians think. Understanding their mindset is critical. Here's how they operate. 1. People reading experts. Machiavellians observe carefully. They notice tone of voice, facial micro-expressions, hesitations and body language. They learn your desires, fears, and likely reactions, often before you realize it yourself. 2. Hidden intentions. You rarely see their true motives. Their plans unfold like a well-directed play. 3. Emotional control. They rarely display anger, jealousy, or fear. Calmness is a weapon, making it hard for others to predict or manipulate them. 4. Indirect influence. They don't command. They guide. They make you feel a decision is yours, even though it benefits them. 5. Trust as a tool. Trust is currency. They borrow it, manipulate with it, and spend it when advantageous. 6. Strategic, not emotional. Emotions are weaknesses to exploit in others. Decisions are calculated, not impulsive. Reflection. Think of someone who seemed helpful, but left you feeling manipulated. Could they have been applying Machiavellian tactics? Section 3. The 5 most common Machiavellian tactics. Machiavellians rarely use force. They use precision techniques. 1. Strategic charm. Acts kind, attentive, generous. Purpose. Build trust and gain leverage. Red flag. Generosity that comes with subtle obligations. 2. Information control. Shares little about themselves but learns everything about you. Uses knowledge to predict and influence behavior. 3. Silent influence. Rarely confrontational. Plants ideas, redirects conversations. Introduces doubt or confidence strategically. 4. Triangulation. Involves a third person to create jealousy, increase pressure, shift blame. Indirectly manipulates outcomes without direct confrontation. 5. Reputation engineering. Controls public perception with surgical precision. Clean image. Controlled persona. Consistent narrative. They understand. Perception is power. Reflection. Think of someone in your circle who subtly influenced others. Opinions or created silent competition. That's triangulation in action. Why? Strengths make leverage. Empathy and loyalty can be guided. Responsibility and predictability make others useful as strategic pieces. Good news. Once you recognize these patterns, you become untouchable. Section 5. How to protect yourself. Protecting yourself is straightforward but requires attention. 1. Stop oversharing. Fewer details mean fewer opportunities for manipulation. 2. Stay calm and factual. Emotional reactions are leverage points. 3. Watch for patterns. Consistent strategic behavior reveals intention. 4. Set boundaries clearly and early. They test limits constantly. 5. Address issues directly. Machiavellians fear exposure more than confrontation. 6. Strengthen self-respect. Self-respecting individuals are the hardest to manipulate. Exercise. Reflect on a recent interaction where someone influenced you subtly. Identify the tactic used and consider how you could respond differently next time. Section 6. Real-world examples. 1. Workplace. A colleague offers help but gradually shifts your tasks to serve their own goals. 2. Social circle. A friend mediates conflicts, subtly controlling opinions to their benefit. 3. Personal life. A partner showers affection initially, then manipulates decisions in their favor. Recognizing these patterns allows you to stay one step ahead. Section 7. Reflection and takeaways. Ask yourself, where have I been influenced without realizing it? Which of my strengths might attract a Machiavellian? How can I strengthen boundaries without losing empathy? Key takeaways. Machiavellians value strategy over emotion. Awareness equals protection. Boundaries equals invulnerability. Clarity plus observation equals power. When you recognize strategy, you neutralize it. The strings they pull can no longer control you. Next, we explore Narcissism, a personality that manipulates emotionally rather than strategically, preying on empathy and admiration.